What's up, friends? The technicians from this well-known appliance workshop in the city shared these tips with us, so pay attention because we're going to fix this issue. I've been reviewing several cases in the workshop together with the technicians, and the F13 error in Frigidaire ovens is one of those that appears without much obvious explanation and ends up locking the entire unit. Many customers arrive saying the oven was working normally and suddenly F13 showed up. And from the very beginning, we know it's not an isolated failure, but a problem related to the control electronics or the system's internal communication. In the workshop, we explained that this code appears when the oven receives signals it can't properly interpret or detects inconsistencies in its operation. Continuing with what we see day to day, some customers say, the oven turns on, but it doesn't heat properly and then the error appears. In these cases, the first thing we check is the main control board because it's responsible for coordinating all oven functions. We technicians usually say, if the board receives confusing information, the system protects itself and shuts down. These types of failures often appear after a voltage fluctuation or even a small power surge that affects the internal communication of the unit. As we go deeper into the diagnosis, we also find customers saying, the error appears after a few minutes of use. Here, we start checking the temperature sensor since if this component sends incorrect readings, the system cannot regulate heat properly. In the workshop, we explained that the oven completely depends on this information to function correctly, and when there are inconsistencies, the board interprets that something is wrong and triggers F13 as a safety measure. On the other hand, there are also situations where customers mention the control panel freezes or stops responding when the error appears. This leads us to inspect the interface module or control panel because it is responsible for receiving user commands and communicating them to the main system. We explain that if this module fails or loses communication with the board, the oven enters a protection state. A technician in the workshop sums it up like this. When the panel and the board don't communicate, the oven locks itself to avoid bigger issues. Finally, in the workshop, we also see cases where customers say, everything was working fine until there was a power outage and then the problem started. In these situations, we check the oven's overall electrical system because power fluctuations can directly affect the control board's memory. We technicians often say these units are very sensitive to electricity and any instability can trigger errors like F13. Sometimes a simple reset helps, but if the issue persists, it usually indicates electronic damage.